Hey Canucks fans, as 2019 winds down, I want to share with you my top 5 Canucks stories of the year. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram, I'm the founder of the GLCBC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, December the 31st. And barring anything crazy happening at Canucks practice or any breaking Canucks news, this will likely be my last Canucks vlog for the year, for the decade. So I want to say thank you for your loyal viewership, for your engagement, and Happy New Year to all of you. And if you're going out to celebrate tonight, whatever you're doing, please be safe. All right, before I get to my top 5 stories, I want to revisit this All-Star game. We know that Elias Pettersson got named by the NHL to go to a second straight All-Star game. Congrats to Petey. But a lot of Canucks fans felt the Canucks were snubbed, whether it was Miller, Besser, Markstrom, or mostly Quinn Hughes. The Canucks fans wanted a second player named to the Pacific Division team. So I put a poll up on Twitter yesterday saying, what was your predominant feeling, emotion with respect to the All-Star game and the All-Star team for the Pacific Division? Gave 4 choices saying, congrats Petey, Canucks got snubbed, get Quinn in at all costs, or let the players rest, i.e. for a playoff push or playoff run. And I got over 500 votes, and it was exactly tied between two of them. 36% each for congrats Petey and get Quinn in at all costs. Only 15% for Canucks got snubbed and 13% for let the players rest. So again, 36% for congrats Petey, goes without saying, and I vlogged about it yesterday. Another 36% for get Quinn in at all costs. Well, we do have a chance to get Quinn Hughes in because tomorrow NHL.com and NHL opens up voting for the last man in contest. One player from each of the 4 divisions will be named by the fans. Last year for Pacific, it was Leon Draisaitl from the Edmonton Oilers. And this year, there's one player from each of the 8 Pacific Division teams. You have Getzlaf from Anaheim, Keller from Arizona, Goudreau from Calgary, Nugent Hopkins from Edmonton, Doughty from LA, Hurdle from the Sharks, Pacioretty from the Vegas Golden Knights, and of course Quinn Hughes from the Vancouver Canucks. I would love to see Hughes at the All-Star game and the All-Star skills competition because of his skating, because of his edge work, his passing, his IQ, his vision, all those things. We know all those great things as Canucks fans. I want the rest of the league to know. Some of them know, some of the fans know, but I want the rest of the players, the rest of the league to know and to see just how good this guy is and why he will be an all-star for years to come. It'd be kind of cool to have rookies there for 3 consecutive years. Besser there 2 years ago, Pettersson there last year, and of course Quinn Hughes, the guy we're trying to get in this year. So make sure you vote tomorrow. And don't fret if he doesn't get in, or don't fret that Quinn Hughes didn't get named off the bat, because remember, only 10 players were named for each division, and for Pacific Division, there's 8 teams, so 8 teams got to be represented. That means there's only 2 extra spots. One of them went to Draisaitl to go with McDavid, and the other one went to Calgary, is the only other team that had 2 guys, Giordano and Tkachuk. Giordano actually the only Pacific Division defenseman. Most rosters were named with either 5 forwards, 3D, or 6 forwards, 2D. All these knowing that you got to vote one more guy in. The Pacific Division was the only team that had only 1 D, so they had 7 forwards, 1 D. So maybe Quinn Hughes or Doughty are the only 2 D that are on the ballot for last man in. Not that fans will care about that. I'm sure they'd be fine with 8 forwards and 1 D. But we, as Canucks fans, want Quinn Hughes in. So we'll vote Quinn Hughes in starting tomorrow. The other thing I was thinking about, and I tweeted about this earlier this morning, Darcy Kuemper was named as one of the 2 goalies for the Pacific Division with Marc-Andre Fleury. Kuemper suffered an injury a couple weeks ago. He may not be ready for the All-Star game, and if he's not, why not Jacob Markstrom? He's second in save percentage in the Pacific Division of goalies, and I think he's 4th in wins, as I talked about yesterday. So I think Jacob Markstrom has had an awesome year battling through adversity, and what a wonderful accolade it would be to be named, even as a replacement, to go to the All-Star game. Whether he should go or not, that's another story, given everything he's gone through. So some things to think about. Congrats to Petey. Vote Quinn in, and could Markstrom be named an injury replacement for Darcy Kuemper if it comes to that? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Okay, let's talk about what I feel are the top 5 Canucks stories of the year. And we'll go 5 to 1. Number 5, I'm going with the 2019 draft. The Canucks hosted it on June 21st and June 22nd. And it was pretty cool. First round, picking Vasily Podkolzin, 10th overall. And we know that he's finishing his first of 2 years with the KHL, and then we will get him, and we're watching what he can do in the World Juniors. A strong, rugged, intense player, decent skill, good hands, and good around the net. So I can't wait to see what he does. And then in the second round, we picked Niels Höglander, and he's been lighting up the World Juniors as well. with his lacrosse type goals, with his great passing, his good skating, good stick handling, his great hands, and his scoring touch. So a really good draft for the Vancouver Canucks. Some later round picks as well, but those are the two guys obviously that most people are excited about. Podkolzin and Höglander. Look for Podkolzin to make the team 2 years from now. Höglander may have a chance next year, but it might take him 1 or 2 years as well. So that's my number 5 story. Number 4 was Bo Horvat named captain. No surprise, Canucks went without a captain for 1 season after the Sedins retired in April of 2018, but in October 2019, as part of the home opener, Bo Horvat was named the captain, and I think although it was no surprise to people, it's still a big story because he is now the face, the official face of the team, both on and off the ice, leadership in the room, at the rink, in the community, all those things. A great choice, the logical choice, and I think that was a very important story, despite how inevitable that was. So Bo Horvat being captain, number 4 story for me. Number 3 was the trade for JT Miller. And not just because of how well JT Miller has played, but because of all the reaction it generated. It happened right before day 2 of the draft started. So everyone at the draft was talking about it. I was there, which I'll get to in a second. I was there, so I was there amidst all the buzz. I was vlogging about it. Other people were vlogging about it. And people didn't like what we gave up. We gave up the 3rd round pick for this year, right, of that same day, and then a conditional 1st round over either this season or next season. Basically, if the Canucks make the playoffs this year, Tampa Bay gets our 1st rounder for 2020. If the Canucks don't make the playoffs this year, no matter what, Tampa will get our 1st rounder for 2021. So if the Canucks make the playoffs this year, best case scenario, they're in the playoffs, and then Tampa Bay will get our pick, which will be in the bottom half of the 2020 draft. But all this was happening before we even knew what JT Miller could do for the Canucks, and he's been awesome. He's almost a point-of-game player, always sticking his nose into things, a great skater, breaking up plays in the neutral zone, but playing really aggressively and making really smart plays in the offensive zone. He's been a revelation for us, and I think a big part of why the Canucks are doing so well this season. So JT Miller, the trade for him, the reaction, and his play, number 3 story for me. Number 2, the emergence of Quinn Hughes. He was our 1st round pick in the 2018 draft, of course, falling to 7th, where we picked him up very happily. Played 5 games at the end of the 2018-2019 season, and then has been wonderful to start off this season. 28 points in 40 games or so. Only missed 1 because of the injury. I think he's 28 points in 39 games, actually, now I think about it. And a front runner for the Calder Trophy, along with Makar, along with Olofsson from Buffalo. But Quinn Hughes has been the dynamo that we wanted him to be. He's brought the power play to life. He's brought overtime to life. Just a really, really solid player. And the fact that he's a rookie, the fact we're trying to get him in the All-Star game tells us everything we need to know about him. So I don't have to go through all his accolades, all his skill set. We know. We see him every night. I want the rest of the league to see him every night and to appreciate him. So Quinn Hughes, his emergence, and basically the fact that we now have a number 1 D-man for hopefully 10, 12 years to come, that's exciting, and that's my number 2 story. My number 1 Canucks story is, of course, Elias Pettersson, our own superstar, our foundational player, our elite number 1 center. He was named to the All-Star game last year. He won the Calder Trophy last season, and he's continued with a point per game pace to start off this season. And he's done so almost, I'd say, less not as flashy as last season. Like last season, he had these massive multi-point games or these hat tricks or whatever it may be, and he was really catching the league by storm. This year, maybe not as many highlight reel goals or not as many massive performances, 5-point nights or whatever, but 2 points here, 1 point here, 2 points here, 1 point, 1 point. For example, 6 points in the last 5 games, but they're being very quiet 6 points. But you look at him, he has over a point per game. He's in the top 15 in the NHL in scoring, named to the All-Star game, All-Star team once again. And even these 6 points in the last 5 games, they're important goals. They're game-winning goals. They're game-tying goals. They're goals that go against the flow of the play. Whatever it may be, Pettersson has been awesome. And you guys know, we are so blessed to have him here in Vancouver. So that's my number 1 story, his continued emergence to an elite superstar first-line center, and we are so lucky to have him. He's fun in the media as he gets more comfortable with the media, and overall just a superstar in the making, if not yet. So those are my top 5 stories. Number 5 was the draft. Number 4 was Bo Horvat captain. Number 3 was the JT Miller trade. Number 2 was emergence of Quinn Hughes, and number 1 was the development and emergence of Elias Pettersson. Okay, very quickly to wind up. No, by the way, leave a comment below. Tell me which ones you agree with. Tell me which ones you don't agree with. What did I give too much credence to? What didn't I give enough emphasis to? What am I missing? I would love to know your thoughts. Lastly, to wind up, I'm going to do this really quick in about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to give you my top 5 kind of fan experiences of the year to go along with the top 5 Canuck stories. So at number 5 was attending the Summer Summit, which is on June 20, and then the draft on June 21 and June 22. You guys might remember that crazy weekend. I actually stayed up all night between the 21st and the 22nd, chaperoning or volunteering at my son Sean's after grad. So I basically went, I can't even add up the hours, but I went about 30 to 40 hours straight without sleeping, it must have been. But well worth it, being with Sean and then being with the Canucks, of course. And then at the Summer Summit, the day before the draft, I got to meet Alex Burrows, take a picture with Burrows and the Sedins, and then actually went over straight to the Botchford tribute event. So that was a very, very busy weekend, but a great fan experience for me. It was Summer Summit on the Thursday night, followed by the Botchford tribute event, and then the draft Friday and Saturday. So that was my number 5 fan experience for the year. Number 4 was being at the Alex Burrows Ring of Honor game just a few weeks ago as the Canucks hosted Ottawa. It was nice to be there, and it was nice to see. I didn't get to go to the home opener this season because of church, so I was happy to be there for something special and to indeed hear Burrows speak so eloquently, so honestly, and so passionately, to see the tributes and to be there. Actually, I was right underneath where the display went up, where they unveiled it, because we had we had suite seats, like box, you know what I mean, seats in a suite. So that was a pretty cool experience. So to be there to witness history makes me even more excited to be there for the Sedin's jersey retirement game in February. So that was my number 4, was being at the Alex Burrows Ring of Honor game. Number 3 was volunteering. I was blessed to volunteer at both the Canucks Dice and Ice, their major fundraiser earlier in the year, in the early spring, and then I volunteered at the Jake Milford Golf Tournament for my second straight year in the fall. So both opportunities were a wonderful way to connect with players, to talk to them, to make small talk. You know, they're there for charity and for other people. But as a volunteer, not only do I get to volunteer and share my time and my talent, but I got to do it with my favorite hockey team. So always blessed to have those experiences. And Jake Milford was hilarious. I got to drive a golf cart around the Northview all day and just bring water to people, relieve people. That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean. If they need to go and wash and break, other volunteers, and really just gab with the players. And I got to chat with almost all the players on that day. So that was cool. Number 3, volunteering for the Canucks. Number 2 was continuing to write and perform parody songs. And this year was blessed to do 3 songs. One of them was our recent Christmas song. That was me and Marie, Have Yourself a Merry Canucks Christmas. Thank you for the comments on that. But the other 2 was actually working with the team directly, songs that were released by the team. One of them, I pitched it to them and they said sure, and that was our High Hopes, way back in February, that Panic at the Disco song, High Hopes for the season, and that was me and Marie working with a producer friend of ours, and the Canucks put a nice little video to that. Unfortunately, they went a nosedive right after that, not because of the video, but it was right when the Canucks were still fighting for a playoff spot, and then I think they released it February 1, right after the All-Star break, and then the Canucks went down. But hopefully not because of the team, but still, I love writing music for the team, as you know, and it's one of my passions. And then just this fall, they asked us to do, they asked me to write a song for the Canucks Bunch, their Brady Bunch parody for the 70s night, and I wrote it. My brother produced it, my brother Jason, and then Marie, of course, performed it, and it got some really, really good feedback. I wasn't at the game, but I got footage of it, them showing it at the game, and then it did really well on social media afterwards. So again, I appreciate the trust, the faith, the chance to collaborate with the team, especially doing something I love, and that is music. So number 2 for me was writing parody songs for and with the Vancouver Canucks. And my number 1 fan experience, Canucks memory for the year, was, you know it, meeting Elias Pettersson in San Jose. I was there for the All-Star game and the All-Star weekend, and you guys know the story. I met Elias Pettersson at an after party, and as I went to introduce myself, I said, "Hi, my name is Clay. I love what you're doing for the team, and I'm the guy." And he goes, I know who you are." And basically, he acknowledged to me that he had seen a parody song that Marie and I wrote last year for him, How Sweet It Is to Be Deep by You, about Pettersson. He saw it on After Hours. he knew, and then he recognized who I was, which was kind of a thing. You know, I like to brag about it, considering that he didn't know who Kevin BXO was at the time. But that's just for me to brag about, I guess. And maybe not a big deal to anyone else. But to meet him, very humble, very classy, very friendly, very genuine. And then I've seen him a couple times since then, obviously at the Dyson Ice and then at the Milford tournament as well. So a wonderful, wonderful way to start off my year. That was at the end of January, meeting Elias Pettersson in San Jose at the All-Star game and having him recognize me. Yeah. I know I sound like I'm bragging, but it makes me feel good. Okay, Canucks fans, there's a lot there. I've gone for 15 minutes. I talked about the All-Star game and getting Quinn Hughes in. I talked about my top 5 memories of the season, top 5 stories, I should say. Draft, Horvat captain, JT Miller trade, Quinn Hughes, and Elias Pettersson. And then I talked about my top 5 fan experiences, fan memories for the season. That's the Summer Summit and the draft weekend. That's the Burroughs Ring of Honor night. That's volunteering. That's the parody songs. And that's meeting Elias Pettersson. I would love for you to comment on any of those things or share with me down below in the comments what your favorite memories were, what your top 5 stories were, and maybe what your favorite fan experiences were of this year. I love reading about those kind of stories, and I love to get to know you a bit more. So leave a comment below and make sure you comment on anything that I've talked about or whatever you want to share about the year that was for the Vancouver Canucks. All right, thanks for watching. This is a long one, but it's the last one of the year, and I hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe if you like to, like this video if you like to, and leave a comment below so I can read, react, reply as always. 2019 was a great year. Looking ahead to 2020 and looking ahead to a great year for our favorite hockey team, the Vancouver Canucks. Happy New Year. Please be safe tonight. God bless. Go Canucks go.